And early snow flurries across Hampton roads, a warning sign winter is near.
And today the world remembers former President George H.W. Bush.
He did a lot of good things to protect our country. He knew that the right things to do.
Those young and old, of every race, gender, religion, and political party, honoring the father, friend, and former leader of the free world.
We're going to miss you. Your decency, sincerity, and kind soul will stay with us forever. A great and noble man. The best father a son or daughter could have.
13 News Now at 4 starts now. Starting with weather tonight, all day, white and green precipitation has been lighting up our radar. Right now, you can still see some traces there. And across Hampton roads, people captured the first thick snowflakes falling from the sky. This is 13 News Now at 4. I'm Philip Townsend.
And I'm Janet Roach. Meteorologist Evan Stewart is here with more on the flurries and if we'll see more tonight. Evan.
Well, things are really starting to wind down across Hampton roads. Of course, we had some of those big flakes coming down at one point, and EPDs showing up. I'll have much more on that in the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Strong and gracious, comforting and charming, loving and loyal. He was our shield in danger's hour.
The final goodbye to the 41st President George H.W. Bush. And we want to know, how do you best describe the former Commander-in-Chief?
Inspiring, kind, leader, loyal, resilient, or other. Head over to 13newsnow.com/vote to let us know. In the meantime, ABC's Elizabeth Herr has more on today's ceremony.
President George Herbert Walker Bush taking his final flight home. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, Houston.
Several FA-18s from Naval Air Station Oceana are going to be taking part in tomorrow's burial service in Texas. They're performing a 21 aircraft missing man flyover. That's one of the highest honors in the Navy. Pilots left Oceana for College Station early yesterday morning. You can see him here. The former president will be buried at his presidential library there beside his wife Barbara and daughter Robin. As a personal tribute, the pilots put the names of the former president and First Lady on one of the jets.
13 News Now and ABC News will have complete coverage of tomorrow's burial. You can also watch a live stream on 13newsnow.com, and we'll show you the results to the question we asked you later this evening. Right now, a man is in police custody and is facing a murder charge in Currituck County after a standoff with Chesapeake Police.
Yeah, it happened this morning on South Military Highway. 13 News Now reporter Evan Watson is live in Currituck County at the sheriff's office there. Now, Evan, what have you learned?
Lucas Molesky is now charged with murder as Currituck County deputies continue to investigate the scene of the homicide last night here in the Coin Jock area. Investigators continue to work that scene of a home in Coin Jock, asking neighbors about what happened and any additional information. Molesky is still in the process of being booked. The Currituck County Sheriff asks you to call the Sheriff's Office if you have any information about the crime or about Molesky himself. Reporting live, Evan Watson for 13 News Now.
One person is injured and another is in custody after a shooting in Virginia Beach. Police say dispatchers got a call about a gunshot victim around 10 o'clock this morning. That was on Fair Meadows Road. The victim was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the suspect stayed in the home and after a short time was taken into custody. And in Suffolk, police say a man is fighting for his life after he was shot this morning. We're told this happened in a home on Columbus Avenue just before noon. When officers got there, they found a man with 2 gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital. Police say a second man is now in custody.
Portsmouth police are searching for a gunman. They say someone left a man with serious injuries. This was the scene just before 10 o'clock last night on 2 Oaks Road, just off of Hampton Roads Parkway. There's no word yet on any suspects.
New at 4, the man convicted of poisoning his ex-girlfriend on Valentine's Day back in 2017 will face a judge another day. In court today, a medical issue actually forced the judge to push back sentencing for Joseph Merlino. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton joins us in the studio. Allie, what exactly happened here?
Well, Philip, according to jail staff, Joseph Merlino was fine last night, and when bailiffs wheeled him into the courtroom around 9:30 this morning, he looked to be unresponsive and very sick. Wheeled into the courtroom, Joseph Merlino had his eyes shut and was having seizure-like symptoms. Today, the 31-year-old man convicted of stabbing his ex-girlfriend with a vintage hypodermic needle filled with cyanide was supposed to learn how long he would spend behind bars. I reached out to the Virginia Beach City Jail official to see if Merlino could speak to me as he did previously. I was told due to his status, he was not available for an interview. Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
Crews are working on a massive VDOT improvement project right now.
But they've hit a bump in the road. We'll tell you more about why workers are taking a closer look at one spot on the road. The I-64 and I-264 improvement project is a big one. Today, VDOT crews are working on the expansion near the eastern side of Kempsville Road.
But today's work is taking a detour. 13 News Now reporter Megan Shin tells us it's because of what lies beneath the I-264 overpass.
Close up, this looks like ordinary construction. But at a distance, you'll see memories dating back decades. Headstones with engraved messages to loved ones. Historical records say it's a small family cemetery.
Hope is that we can relocate any grave sites we find here on the site. The headstones will be moved with the graves.
Megan Shin, 13 News Now.
Let's take a closer look at the project here. The last update from VDOT back in October shows they still have to work on stormwater management. They're also moving sewer and water lines at Newtown and Greenwich Roads. Phase 1 of construction is supposed to be done by October of next year.
If you're interested in getting a flu shot, now is your chance. You can get a free vaccine in Virginia Beach right now. It's happening at the Department of Health on Corporation Lane until 7 o'clock tonight. Doses are limited, so it's first come, first serve. You'll need to be at least 3 years old or older to get a flu shot at this clinic.
Tomorrow, Virginia Attorney General Martin Herring will hold a roundtable on hate crimes in Norfolk. The meeting is part of a statewide series on the issue. Here's why. Herring says Virginia State Police have seen a 64% increase in hate crimes since 2013. When the General Assembly reconvenes in January, Herring plans to reintroduce a proposal that's going to give police more power to enforce hate crime laws. New allegations about former CBS chief Les Moonves. According to the New York Times, investigators hired by CBS say that in a draft report that Moonves engaged in multiple acts of sexual misconduct, destroyed evidence, and lied.
And he allegedly tried to save not only his reputation, but his $120 million severance package. In that report to the CBS board, attorneys wrote that after interviewing Moonves 4 times, they found him evasive and untruthful at times, and to have deliberately lied and minimized the extent of his sexual misconduct. It also included more allegations of misconduct on top of the more than a dozen women who previously reported he assaulted or harassed them over a span of 3 decades.
He picked me up and threw me against the wall. I mean, I just lay on the floor and cried. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen to me. He took my whole career.
If CBS attorneys find him to have violated the terms of his employment agreement, he could walk away with nothing. Moonves has consistently denied having any non-consensual sexual encounters.
Okay, we want to check the forecast now with Evan.
That's right. A lot of folks were talking today as that snow was flying across parts of Hampton Roads, but things are starting to wind down now, and big warm up as we get later into the middle part of next week. But we'll be watching that Sunday into Monday forecast closely. It's going to be a cold rain and probably some snow for some of us. We'll be watching that closely.
Thanks, Evan. It's hard to believe, Janet, but Christmas is almost here.
Yeah, one little boy is feeling the holiday spirit along with the rest of the country, but there are some saying bah humbug about an important holiday decoration. We'll explain next. A toddler in Washington State who loves checking the mail is receiving more than most this Christmas season. 3-year-old Tavish McCosh is battling leukemia, enduring months of chemotherapy. Last week, his parents posted on Facebook asking anyone willing to send Tavish a Christmas card. It was shared about 25,000 times. The result, hundreds of cards and boxes from around the country.
It's amazing. It's really, really kind of all these people to take time out of their lives and send him some cards that really make his day.
Wow, look at all that. For this family, the pile is a reminder that as lonely as this time feels, they are still surrounded by so much love. Christmas is just under 3 weeks away.
It is, and we told you earlier about how Amazon is shipping live Christmas trees this year. Back in September, the company announced a partnership with Hallmark Flowers, and now the first few trees started arriving at doorsteps last week. Early reviews are mixed. Many people claim the tree they received is a lot shorter than the 6 to 7 foot fir advertised on the website. This reviewer says his was only about 5.5 feet tall, and they have a reason to be picky. People are shelling out $110 for these trees.
All right, well, check out this 70-foot Christmas tree in Rome. It's causing some controversy among residents. You can see the strangely shaped fir tree is missing several branches.
Is that a tree?
If this story sounds familiar, check this out. This was Rome's Christmas tree last year. Locals dubbed it Spalaccio, which means mangy in Italian.
Okay.
Maybe some extra decorations there. Virginia has an extra $600 million to spend, so what should the Commonwealth do with it? The story, new at 4:30.
And are your holiday decorations shining a little too bright? Next, we verify if it can be a danger to pilots.
Plus, what a certain chemical found in plastic can do to your unborn child.